What's going on, YouTube? Yep, my fender's in the back seat. We're over here at Jason Schmuck's. And I know you guys know who Schmuck Racing is. They produce a lot of turbo manifolds, turbo kits for S2000s. He actually kind of got started with the S2000 majority. He had an S2000, still does. But yeah, so we're over here at Jason's. Gonna get a bigger Puke can. As you guys know, I'm having problems with not enough ventilation in our crankcase as the boost pressures and stuff that we're starting to run. So I told Jason, I already have Jason's can. It's like a dual setup, a water oil separator can, but we're gonna do a bigger can over by the windshield washer area. So we're gonna get the car out, get inside here, talk to Jason. Should have some welding video and stuff for you guys. Jason's gonna do a little bit of videoing, and then we'll see what we come up with.
20 minutes later.
All right, what is up, guys? We are here in Jason Schmuck land. He just got a new building. It's pretty sick, really big. I've known Jason for a long time. I got one of his OG manifolds, and always support Jason. Jason supports me. He's a good guy. He sells a ton of kits for the S2000 community. As you guys know, there's a ton of Schmuck kits out there, but I want to show you guys what he just did for us. Know I had his old dual can setup, which is a great setup, especially for, you know, street guys, small horsepower levels. We were having problems pushing a lot of crankcase, so we got a new vent system. We hid the Puke tank on the side of the car, where typically where the windshield washer goes, and I'm going to be using my meth pump to actually pump the oil out of here when it fills up. Pretty good sized can, so we probably ain't gonna be filling it a lot. And Jason did a lot of baffling inside of here. We got dash 12 ends, and then we got our vent coming up through the hood. He made some new flashy covers there for me. So this comes up through the hood and can breathe easily. So this should improve a lot on our vent system. And then he went ahead and did 2-12 vents, which we'll have to run through here, make some lines. I'm waiting on the fittings to come in now, but we shouldn't have any more breather problems. I'm really excited to get the data on this and see what type of crankcase pressure we had. It would go up to like 6 or 7 PSI right at redline, which isn't crazy, but when we switching over to methanol, it really started to ramp up. You get a lot more crankcase pressure with methanol. So super excited, he knocked it out of the park. This looks freaking awesome. We're gonna go around though. We're gonna show you guys a couple of things that they're working on here at the shop, show you a couple of machines, just do a little roundabout with Jason. All right, I'll show you guys a couple of cool machines. So Jason is showing us. This is where, so what can this thing do? Pretty much anything?
So 3-axis CNC.
Okay.
So it can make
so it cuts all of your
stuff. So we do all our head flanges and stuff in-house. These are gonna be on the site soon.
nice.
16 AN, 10 AN, 12 AN bulkhead fittings for the firewall.
Nice.
And now we have
Super clean.
merge ones as well.
Super clean. So this is where you pretty much make like all your plates, all your collector stuff. Do you make your own collector stuff as well?
Yeah,
or?
they're off the tube pattern.
Okay, all right. Huge building in here, massive. So he's gonna show us the S2000 here. It's got a new top mount kit. So we're gonna check that thing out. Over here's Jason's cars. You guys probably know already. If you guys were at World Cup, he had his new sport front wheel drive. He's had this S2000. I remember this when it was red. Yeah, he had this way back in the day. This is when me and Jason first started talking, actually. And it was still F-Series. As you guys know, he went J quite a while back ago. Twin turbos now. Really clean, really nice setup. What turbo is that?
It's 3584.
Okay. Nice little setup. Oh, yeah, he's back single now. Sorry, guys. He was dual. You were dual, right? Yeah. He went single last year, I believe. Look at those manifolds. Really sweet manifold designs. It's got the dumps out the hood. He made this intake manifold. Really sweet intake manifold. Nice welds. This is all titanium. Really cool setup. I'm sure you guys know the car. If you guys haven't been to World Cup and be able to see Jason's work in person, you definitely need to come out sometime. And he does really nice work. He does not skip out on quality. All top of the line stuff. All right, guys, so is this completely new design, like something you're trying?
Yeah, this is internally gated G series stuff.
Okay. So it's going to be more for smaller frame turbos, mid to small frame. Probably spool extremely fast.
Yeah, it's the same kit pretty much that's on the green car.
Right.
That thing made 590 or something.
Really cool. Looks cool as shit too. And you could, if you really want to, you could run a nice filter setup.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Incorporated with the filter off.
Very nice. Tell us.
V-band internally gated or externally gated top mount.
Okay.
So you guys have asked for it. They're coming soon.
Here it is. Very cool. How are you going to incorporate wastegate dumps and all that with something like this? Is it going to have to be hood or?
No, it'll fit through down here. So
okay.
Turbo comes up, it comes in, downpipe down back here.
Gotcha.
And there's a hole through here for the dump.
Okay.
It's really tight.
Small to mid-frame stuff?
Yeah.
Nice.
But I mean, it should do well. We're going to mock that up in this.
Okay.
Probably next week and make sure downpipe dump tube and everything's good.
Very nice.
And those are coming soon too.
All right, guys, what's up? We are back in the garage, so I'll show you guys what we're gonna do here since we're back in the garage. So as you guys saw, Jason made a really badass puke can here for me. So the idea here is going to be this fitting here. It's gonna be our drain. We're actually used our pump. So we're gonna have to get our right hoses, so that way this can pump this out. We're actually going to take this off because I want to paint this black, just so it matches everything else, because these are black. This is all black, so the little silver guy sticking out, not really a fan of. So we're gonna paint this whole thing probably like a flat ceramic black, just like these. So I'm gonna remove that, do that. While that's out, we gotta figure out where we're gonna place our hoses. So I'm even thinking they're gonna come out down below, or I have to cut this out more and just bring it right through there, because these are gonna be a 90-degree. So they're gonna be like right around here. I don't have the fittings yet. I actually 2-day shipped them and they're not even arriving till next week. So it's kind of upsetting because I wanted to do these fittings, but looks like we're gonna have to wait till next week to do the fittings. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy out and I'll show you guys the contraption that he did. All right, so check this contraption out. Look at that sucker. It's pretty cool what he did there. I like it. So big -12s. This thing's gonna breathe extremely well. He put some steel wool in areas just to try to break up the oil mist flow. So hopefully this doesn't really spit anything at all except just gases. Hopefully no oil gets spit up. And he's got a lot of different baffling. He's got a baffle going down here, a baffle that comes across with holes, so that one needs to travel all the way down and back around to get to the breather. So should work really well. All right, so we went ahead and drilled a second hole there. So that's gonna be for our hoses. So it's gonna come right through here, through the hose to a probably 90-degree. That's what I got coming. Hopefully that works. Hopefully I don't need more degree, but the cool thing about this hose is this is 12 AN, guys. This is huge, as you can see. Very flexible. Look at this. Like, look how flexible this is for 12 AN. You can't do that with PTFE. I mean, look at that. You can't do that. You'll kink PTFE immediately. So as soon as we get our fittings, we'll have that on. We'll be able to get our fender back on, but until then, we're kind of sitting. So I'm gonna run to the hardware store, going to get some black paint to do that, and paint her up, put her back in, see how she looks. All right, I went ahead and ran my lines. So this is a nice quick little, it's like directly to the pump, which is nice. I think Jason did it on purpose. So good job, Jason. So that should have no problems when it needs to start draining. The pump will have immediate grab, and then it comes up through the line, through my windshield washer fluid, then back down, and I actually have it tucked right there. So that way, if I need to drain it, I can just turn my wheel here, take this out, put like a bottle or something, and then I turn the pump on, and it'll empty out whatever's in the can. Hopefully I won't have to do that very often, maybe just like once after every big race. It's a really big can. I mean, it's way bigger than that can. So it should hold a good amount of oil without it spitting too much. But all right, I'm running to Lowe's. I need to get some paint so we can make that prettier. All right, we got some primer. We roughed it up, putting some primer on, and then we're gonna go ahead and hit it with some black. So another thing we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be dropping the oil pan. We're gonna be doing an oil change. But while we're doing the oil change, we're gonna drop the oil pan and we're gonna put that in that Moroso baffle. We're gonna run it up tomorrow to Jason. He's gonna tack it in so it's a baffle goes inside the oil pan. And hopefully that will help with oil pressure on launches because of the G-force. Sometimes the pickup is not getting a good supply of oil, and the baffle is supposed to help that. So we need to do an oil change. It's been a little bit. So we're gonna oil change, drop the pan, and drive up to Jason's tomorrow to get that tacked in. So while we're doing maintenance, we're doing oil change. I went ahead and took the valve cover off and looked over all my rockers, did lash check, make sure all the lash was good. Number 4 intake, just a pinch, a little tighter than the rest, So I went ahead and made that the rest as the intake. I don't think it's anything too worrisome. I'll keep an eye on it on that number 4 intake back there. But other than that, everything looks good. You guys want to make sure you don't have any cracks, nothing's loosening up. So this is very important stuff on the top end here. You cannot have some issues. And of course, make sure your lash is good. As you can see, I ran a little bit more lash on the exhaust because the exhaust valves get much hotter and everything can grow a little bit more. So give it a little bit of clearance on the exhaust side just so you don't burn anything up. You do not want a tight valve, guys. If you get a tight lash and the valve is hanging when it's not supposed to be, 1, you'll be down on power. 2, you could burn a valve up. So don't want to do that. So we went ahead and painted. We'll check it out. Man, I should be a painter. That looks good. And that is gonna go in. Right now we're draining the oil, put a new oil filter on. We're gonna cut the old one open, make sure it looks good. All right, she is in. Check that out. Nice and black. Hood's not all the way down there, so gates come out kind of even. That does stick up a little bit, but check that out. So now we got doesn't stick out so bad now. Just like a little, same color as the manifolds, ceramic black. So yeah, pretty cool. One day I'll take all the hot stuff off and reapply some ceramic paint because as you can see, it's gotten beat up over the years. Needs a nice fresh coat. And I'd probably go ahead and ceramic that as well. But yeah, we look good. So I went ahead and pulled a cap. Why not? And look at this. Man. Now granted, guys, these bearings only have about 1 or 2 races and some test passes and some street driving. But man, they look brand new. So yeah, and they have good, they're still really tight in the shell and the cap. So yeah, holding up really nice. Gonna throw this right back in. But I figured since we're dropping the pan, might as well pull number 4, clean the pan out. And this is how easy it is to get to number 4. So obviously 4 is right there. So not really a problem to get to. If I wanted to get the rest, I'd have to pull the windage tray out, but I'm not gonna bother. I just wanted to pull number 4, see how it looked. It looks great. So I'll slap her back in. All right, here's our baffle. Pretty nice. It just drops right in there like that. And then obviously, you got to get somebody to tack it in. So anywhere that it's really sitting, like looks like right here, could put a tack. Probably put a tack like down in this corner. Maybe a tack over here, tack over here. So really it's just so that it's solid in there and it's not going to go anywhere. But here's these are our little flapper guys. So what those do is oil return comes down through here and it comes down through the back of the block. And once it hits those holes, it should be able to easily open those and bleed the oil back into the, well, that's really close to that pickup. But anyways, so yeah, should be able to bleed back in. It also has a hole here. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a flapper there, and there's also a flapper in the back right there. So what it's designed to do, of course, is this is the front of the block. So when a G-force, all the oil wants to go this way. So what it can do without the baffle is obviously easy. Your pickup sits right in here and all the oil comes up through here and up into this back area. Because you can think the pan, when you're under load, the pan's gonna do that. So then a lot of your oil actually will like slosh up into this area. And honestly, it kind of gets into the windage and the crank area. But with this in here, clearly it's much harder. This is almost against the windage up inside the motor, and it keeps that oil where it needs to be, which is right in this area. So obviously on a pass, goes like that. Much more oil retainage in here, but then it can easily, when oil is coming back down, goes through here and it will open this hatch and bleed through back here. And obviously, whenever we are just sitting, oil bleeds back through these little guys as well. So I've spoke to a lot of different guys about different baffles because I'm not a big baffle fan. I was worried about oil drain back, that the oil doesn't want to drain back into the pickup area and get stuck. But they all said this more so baffle is good stuff. So obviously I have oil pressure sensors and stuff so I can see if we have any problems. But so this should take care of our G-force and oil. So I'm gonna run this over to Jason in the morning, have him tack this in, and we'll be set to go. All right, we just got back from Jason's and he did a great job tacking this plate in. So now we got our plate, all of our doors open nice and easy, no problem there. So, cleaned the pan out really good, made sure there's no like metal slacker stuff. We gotta go ahead and re-Honda bond this and throw her back in. Nice thin bead of Honda bond, guys. We don't need goopy Honda bond. All right, we're putting in our brad pen, or now known as pen grade. I've been using brad pen, pen grade, a lot of years, multiple different cars, and it just hasn't really failed me. I love how sticky it is. It really sticks to the metal. Like when I take the motor apart, like the oil sticks to the metal forever. Like I could have the motor upside down draining and there's still a coat of oil slime all over the motor. It just sticks really well to components. It has a high zinc and phosphate rating, which helps with breakdown of the oil. It holds up against alcohol, ethanol really well. And I just haven't had a reason to really not use brad pen. It's really popular in the sprint car program, which they run alcohol and do 800 horsepower for just laps and laps and laps. And guys say they pull bearings out and they look brand new. So you guys have seen how my bearings look with the amount of power that I run. So, and I'm not saying it's the oil to run and it's the only good oil. There's plenty of good oil out there, but for the price, I feel like brad pen is a really good quality to price ratio. I mean, there's a lot of other brands, AMSOIL, they're really, really high end, like the Driven One stuff. I mean, you're talking like stuff's like $15, $20 a quart, which is nuts. I get a whole case shipped to my door for $95. So it's like, you can't beat that. And I know like, there's a couple other brands out there like VR1, super popular with the street car guys. Not saying that, those oils are not good. I'm sure they are. But when you find something that works and it doesn't fail you, why change? All right, we started her up. We only put 5.5 to 6 quarts of oil, which is kind of factory. And I ran it for quite a while at idle. Gave it a couple revs just to make sure that we didn't have any oil drain issues, and it doesn't seem like everything's fine at idle. So I think the baffle will help a lot. We won't have to overfill our pan now, which should cut down on windage in the crankcase, which should help us with oil spit. I also noticed that since we did the 12 vents on the valve cover, so when I was running it, I was getting a lot of my pressure coming through those two guys. And then when I felt my old can over here, this thing almost had no pressure. And before I'd put my hand over here and you'd have a lot of pressure there. So it's almost like it's actually like liking the 12s back there. Those are putting out way more pulses of pressure than these guys are, which is good, because that means hopefully this will never really fill up anymore. And if it does, it'll be really light. And then those are baffled really well. So I'm hoping we keep a lot more oil in the motor now versus spitting a lot of it out. So hopefully this situation, what we're doing here, will help a lot with retaining the oil, but still allowing a lot of crankcase breather area. All right, we got our fittings. So now we just got to make some hoses and get our hoses hooked up. We are in. Look at our lines. We had to make a little bit extra hole there, but look at that. We're all in. We're going to start it up and see how how she vents. Well, she did. I can feel it, a little bit of air coming out of there. I feel almost nothing out of this area. No steam yet though, it has to get warm. Well guys, that is gonna do it. We got our puke tank in. Super excited to get out and start testing. Probably gonna be able to get out maybe tomorrow and do some testing. So it'll be another short little video. We're gonna compare data. So we're gonna see crankcase pressure from before and after. We're gonna use different fuels, different boost settings, just to get an idea on the crankcase. But hopefully this is the answer. Hopefully it puts a lot of crankcase, vents it out of the atmosphere so we don't have it in the block. That's the plan. Big shout out to Jason Schmuck for doing the can for me. Really appreciate it. He's been on the team for quite a while. He helps me out a lot. If you guys need any turbo kits, you know where to go. Schmuck manifolds, turbo kits, he does it all. I know he's got Black Friday sales right now, so go check it out, the website. Hopefully this takes care of our issues. And I mean, Jason knocked it out of the park. Really nice and sleek design. Like you won't even know once the fender's on there that's down there. Really cool design. But yeah, that'll do it guys. Appreciate it. Comment, like, subscribe if you like what you're watching. And we'll be back at you with some more videos shortly. All right, see you guys.